Just a quick video on what I call a soft shuffle. I've been doing this weekly on 3 of my characters just to keep their Artisan Acuity high to help with the purchasing of knowledge books and rare crafting tools. So instead of doing the full shuffle including engineering, alchemy, jewel crafting and inscription, which is incredibly expensive to do, especially if you're re-leveling them each week, I only do tailoring, leatherworking, blacksmithing and enchanting. And with enchanting always being the last one, and I'll explain why later in the video. Just going to start with a finished result before doing the demonstration. Here is a list of all the materials it took me to do this. Sometimes it's going to be more than this, sometimes it's going to be less. After the first time doing enchanting, you don't have to create all of the masks, so there is a cost reduction there. And because the masks come from the specialization tree, you don't have to relearn them next time. So when coming back to enchanting, you're normally able to fill the orders without having to level it at all. 30,000 of this cost just came from leatherworking, so the other 3 combined were only 20,000. Leatherworking was partially that expensive because I had to level it to 45 to do the orders. That won't always be the case either. As you'll see with blacksmithing, I only had to get it to 20 to finish its orders. So in total it cost me 50k, 20 minutes, and in return I got 350 Artisans Acuity, which is a bit more than one tool. So I'm going to start with tailoring here, and the first thing you want to do after you've picked up the profession is check the patron orders. The reason you check the patron orders first is so you can see where you actually need to level up to. So for here, I already know that I need to get tailoring to 25. This one requires 35. This one's only at 5. I'm not going to be able to do the PvP one or the concentrated cloak, so I know I only need to level tailoring here to 35 in order to be able to fill these work orders. If you're wondering what this add-on is, it's called No Mats No Make. I'll link it in the description. It shows you if you don't have the pattern, it's in red, and then it obviously shows you the rewards and the reagent cost for them. So if all the reagents are supplied by the NPC, I guess, patron, there'll be nothing here, but if you see all these reagents, they're the materials you have to supply. The next thing you want to do after you picked up the profession is actually go and get the weekly quest over from the crafting order hall. I haven't done the first chain, so if you haven't done this before, you actually have to pick up this quest first. Move your fatty boom bar across. Click on the crafting table, hand in, back to the work order later. Now this time I can pick up the weekly quest. So you want to make sure always, before you do the patron quest, get the weekly, because this is another 10 Artisans Acuity here, so if you skip this step, you're losing out on the shuffle. A tip to doing this is when you're leveling the profession, because we're not keeping it, you actually don't need to train everything. So you just pick one of the ones you need for each level, like 10, 15, 20, to actually get to the next level. Instead of training absolutely everything, which is going to cost you more gold. Okay, that's tailoring finished. Make sure you collect all the patron order rewards from the mailbox and click on the knowledge point item. Then hand in the weekly quest before abandoning the profession. And don't ask me how I know to remember to do this. I don't want to talk about it. Next up, leatherworking. Again, after you picked up the profession, you want to check the patron orders, just so you can see how high you need to level. And it looks like 45 for this one. Same thing with leatherworking, make sure you pick up the crafting order before you start doing patron orders. Don't ask me how I know that tip. I don't want to talk about it. The same thing with tailoring, you don't have to pick up all of these, just pick up one of them and save yourself all of this gold. With leatherworking, Gloom Chitin is generally cheaper than Stormforged leather, just check when you buy it, which means you want to level with the mail items, not the leather items. That's leatherworking finished. Again, the same as tailoring, make sure you go to the mailbox, get out all the rewards from the patron orders, click all the knowledge points and hand in the weekly before dropping the profession. Round 3, blacksmithing. Same thing yet again, check your patron orders, just so you know where you need to level to so you don't spend extra gold leveling higher than you have to. This time it looks like I only need to go to 20, as I'm not going to be able to fill out these other 3. Almost started doing the patron orders without the weekly. I wouldn't do that. I need a week order to tell me you haven't picked up work orders, idiot. Finished up with blacksmithing, now we're on to enchanting. Enchanting's a bit different. Straight after you pick it up, you actually want to go collect 2 treasures. This is because the very first time you do this, you're going to want to put in knowledge points. So the first one is just here outside the craft order shop. And then the second is located here, in Dornogle. Now for the reason we did the other professions first, it's so that we can disenchant to level enchanting. And also, in order to get the weeklies, I just got one then, So these gives you Artisans Acuity as well. You have to disenchant items. Okay, you disenchant items until you get a total of 5 of these, and then you continue disenchanting until you get this one. Once you've collected the gleaming telluric crystal, you no longer have to disenchant any more items. So you can either decide to send them to a designated disenchanter to get better crystals from them, or just save them for next week. But with the shard shatter recipe coming out, shards are actually pretty expensive at the moment. So if you want to recoup a little bit of the gold it costs to do this shuffle, just disenchant them and chuck them on the AH. Oh, I actually forgot a step. After you got the knowledge points, you still want to keep disenchanting these items until you get to 15 and get the rune bismuth rod. Once we got the rune bismuth rod, we're going to come over to this trainer, buy a couple of these, that's a few too many, and use it to level to 25 so we can unlock specializations. Okay, and this is why we had to go and collect the treasures. Once at 25, we want to go into ephemerals, enrichments, and equipment. We put 5 points here, which unlocks these deceptive decorations, and you want to put 15 points in here. So I've only got 10 yet, but we'll go to the crafting orders. And this is the very first time this has happened to me. There are no masks here. So the only one we've got to do is this mirror power. But if this is the first time you used enchanting, you still want to make all of these, because we're currently at 540. Once you've unlocked more of your knowledge points, you don't need to come down to 20, only to 15, and that will unlock all of the masks you can get. Go to your first time craft bonuses, and finish crafting the ones you just got. And that's the shuffle done. Oh, of course, I also forgot the weekly for enchanting, which unlocks at level 25. This week it's 10 gleaming shards. If you want to take the shuffle a bit further, you can do mining, skinning, and herbalism, because none of them have a gold cost, only a time cost. And you can get an extra about 200 Artisans Acuity from them. There's also treasures that you can pick up each time you're doing one of the professions. They give 10 Artisans Acuity, but that can take a little while to get, so again, it's a time cost. There's also treaties, but you need 25 skill to learn them, so make sure you learn them before unlearning the profession. Don't ask me how I know that, I don't want to talk about it. And that's my video on just a soft shuffle. Thank you for watching. If you enjoyed this, please like and subscribe. Peace.